More nightmarish pestilences continue to erupt all over the world. Crazy scientists are going to continue to try to play God, quote unquote, in their secret labs, and outbreaks of deadly diseases are only going to become even more common. Why is this happening? Each week it seems like there's another new outbreak somewhere in the world that the experts are deeply concerned about. Prior to 2020, it was never like this. In the old days, the vast majority of us never even thought about when the next pandemic might happen because such a scenario seems so improbable. But here in 2022, a bird flu pandemic has killed tens of millions of our chickens and turkeys. A monkeypox outbreak has already spread to more than 90 countries all over the globe. Confirmed cases of the Marburg virus has been reported in Africa, and very serious diseases that were once almost entirely eradicated are popping up even in the Western world. What are we supposed to make of all this? The latest outbreak that's making headlines all over the globe has happened in China. According to the British news source, there have been 35 confirmed cases of a disease called Langia henipavirus so far. Cases of a deadly virus on the rise in eastern China are not a cause for alarm, scientists have said amid comparisons with COVID-19. So far, 35 cases of this disease, known as Langia henipavirus, or LAV for short, or Langira, have been confirmed among farmers in 2 eastern provinces of China with no deaths reported. We're being told that the Chinese were able to identify this outbreak very quickly thanks to, quote, an early detection system, end quote. The virus named Langia henipavirus, or LAV, was found thanks to an early detection system for feverish people with a recent history of exposure to animals in eastern China. The patients, mainly farmers, also reported fatigue, cough, loss of appetite, and aches, with several developing blood cell abnormalities and signs of liver and kidney damage. Hopefully, this will not turn into something big. Now, let's remember that China also has a problem with water. It has a drought and crisis of a famine. And the water that it does have in certain areas, especially in the north, is not fit for anything. Now, going back to this, the fact that none of the victims has died so far is good news, because the WHO says that the family of viruses that this comes from have a 40 to 75% fatality rate. That's huge. While none of the patients have died or suffered serious illness, it's a virus that has not infected human beings prior to this outbreak, so there are a lot of unknowns. Being under the henipavirus umbrella, it has the potential to do some serious damage. WHO data classifies henipavirus with a 40 to 75% fatality rate. Meanwhile, polio has made a comeback in the United States. This was not supposed to happen. Our country was declared polio-free in 1979, and there had not been any single case that has originated in the United States since that time. But now there has been a case where an individual has been paralyzed by polio in New York, and we're being warned that there could be hundreds of other cases. Hundreds could have polio after an adult in the New York City metro area caught the virus and suffered paralysis last month, the state's top health official said this week. The New York State Health Commissioner, Mary Bassett, warned that the confirmed polio case in an unvaccinated adult, coupled with the detection of the virus in sewage outside the nation's largest city, could indicate a bigger outbreak is underway. Let's remember, I have gone on one of my biology field trips to the, what was it? Anyway, it was a water purification system, and we were told, we saw the sewage water turning into drinkable water, and we were told it was terrible. A lot of guys fainted from the smell, okay, from the sight as well. But we were told that 25% of New York City water, drinkable water, comes from sewage. Now, it turns out that polio has also been detected in sewage in London, and this has prompted the UK to begin a large-scale vaccination program for children. Children living in London will be offered an extra dose of the polio vaccine following the discovery of poliovirus in sewage in the British capital, health authorities announced Wednesday. The UK Joint Committee on Vaccination and Immunisation said a targeted inactivated polio vaccine booster, the dose should be offered to all children between the ages of 1 and 9 in all London boroughs. Polio is a truly horrifying disease. Once you understand what it can do to someone, you would not wish it on your worst enemy. According to the WHO, polio can lead to irreversible paralysis in some cases, and a certain percentage of those that get paralysis will eventually die. 1 in 200 infections leads to irreversible paralysis. Among those paralyzed, 5 to 10% die when their breathing muscles become immobilized. Of course, this article would not be complete without an update on the monkeypox pandemic. The rumor of cases continues to rise at an exponential rate. It's being reported that the disease has now spread to 93 different countries, and the total number of confirmed cases has now risen to 32,824. Authorities tell us that thus so far it's been primarily spreading among men that have intimate relations with other men, but that's not the only way that it spreads. Generally, the monkeypox virus transmits through direct touch, close-range respiratory droplets over a prolonged time, and through contact with highly contaminated materials, such as bed linens and clothes that have touched people's skin lesions. Overall, the lesions are considered the primary concern as they are teeming with virions. The virus can also transmit from a pregnant person to a fetus. Infections during pregnancy can lead to complications, congenital defects, and stillbirths. An increased number of women and children are getting infected, and we're being told that there is a risk of spread in any settings where large numbers of people get together. It was only a matter of time before monkeypox made it to congregate settings, a pediatric infection disease specialist told Fortune, after Illinois state officials announced Friday that a daycare worker had been diagnosed with a smallpox-related virus. There is definitely potential for spread of monkeypox in daycare, schools, college campuses, prisons, and other similar settings, said Dr. Alexandra Brugler-Jons, an infectious disease specialist at Children's National Hospital in Washington, D.C. For now, nobody in the health community is suggesting any sorts of lockdowns to help prevent the spread of this disease. Let us hope that it stays that way. Unfortunately, what we're witnessing right now is not just the beginning. And as I write this article, the author says, mad scientists all over the globe are monkeying around with some of the most virulent pathogens that have ever existed. In many of those cases, they are purposely trying to make those pathogens even more deadly. This way, it's easy for an accident to happen. It's way too easy for an accident to happen. And once a bug gets loose, it can spread all over the planet very rapidly. For years, I've been persistently warning that we would be entering a time of great pestilence, and now we're here. I know that a lot of people out there would really love to return to normal, but that is not going to happen, it appears. Crazy scientists are going to continue to try to play God in their secret labs, and outbreaks of deadly diseases are only going to become even more common. We live in a world that's increasingly going mad, and trying to pretend otherwise is not going to help anything. Views expressed in this article or opinions of the author do not necessarily reflect on views of Collective Spark. This is on Collective Spark by Michael Schneider. And he says here, my name is Michael Schneider, and my brand new book entitled 7-Year Apocalypse is now available on Amazon. In addition to my new book, I have written 5 others that are available on Amazon. Lost Prophecies of the Future of America, The Beginning of the End, Get Prepared Now, and Living a Life That Really Matters. By purchasing the books, you help to support the work that my wife and I are doing, and by giving it to others, you help to multiply the impact that we're having on people all over the globe. I've published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and The Most Important News, and the articles that I publish on those sites are republished on dozens of other prominent websites all over the world. I always freely and happily allow others to republish my articles in their own websites, but I also ask that they include this about the author section with each article. The material contained in this article is for general information purposes only, and readers should consult licensed professionals before making any legal, business, financial, or health decisions. I encourage you to follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, and any way that you can share these articles with others is a great help. During these very challenging times, people will need hope more than ever before, and it's our goal to share the gospel of Jesus Christ with as many people as we possibly can. And I'll leave links below for you for this on Collective Spark. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.